Hello, and thank you for joining me today. We will be dealing with very critical issue in this broadcast. Very critical. I am God's servant, Maxwell Nnawuihe. The question I'll be asking and we will be looking into and we will be addressing together is this. Why is it that the government of the United States of America has not recognized Biafra till today? With the knowledge they have about the killings in Nigeria, the Christian persecution and massacring, with the knowledge they have about the case of Nnamdi Kanu, with the knowledge they have about Biafra, with all the lobbying, with all the input and the impact of the US parliamentarians or MPs in the favor of Nnamdi Kanu and in the favor of the Biafran cause, why is it that till today President Donald Trump has not opened his mouth or has not written an official press statement or made an official statement recognizing Biafra? Why? Russia, the same. Germany, the same. China, the same. A lot of other world powers. Yes, we are aware of the United Nations judgment, which also we played a role to bring it into accomplishment. As I have said several times in my previous videos, that is not the focus of this broadcast today. The focus is this critical question. We will be addressing it together. We will be addressing it in the part 1. This is part 1. In the part 2, the part 3, as long as we can stay until this question is answered and also the way forward is provided. And the basis of this video is the article of Mike Arnold. Mike Arnold, former mayor of Texas, United States of America, who has been an outspoken man, very, very outspoken, who has been making so much contribution, highlighting and also raising concerns about the case of Nnamdi Kanu and that of Biafra and that of persecuted Christians in Nigeria. He wrote on the 8th of June 2026 what he titled "A Word of Advice to All Who Seek Change in Nigeria." He highlighted a lot of things that he believed are reasons why this question I'm asking today is being asked. And he also provided suggestions on what to do in order for the world powers to come in and recognize Biafra and begin to speak officially from the office of the president, the office of the prime ministers of different countries and nations, to begin to speak officially about the freedom of Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. We know that a lot of things are going on for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of parliamentarians of different countries are involved. John James in the United States of America, the Knesset of Israel, a lot are going on. But why is it that the government have not come out officially to take a position to recognize Biafra and also to say to the Nigerian government, release Nnamdi Kanu, and they make it open, not behind closed doors? That is what we're looking into. And first of all, we are going to read out, I'm going to read out to you the full article, what Mike Arnold wrote in the article. I'm going to read it without analyzing it. I made this introduction as a basis and as a background. I will read it from the beginning to the end. I will not analyze it. The analysis and the discussion will come very much later. That may be in the part 2. Now, listen. The title of the article is "A Word of Advice to All Who Seek Change in Nigeria," June 8, 2026, by Mike Arnold. I keep hearing the same plea. When will the United States or Britain recognize Biafra? When will they sanction Tinubu? When will they free Nnamdi Kanu? The honest answer from a man who has been inside the rooms where these decisions are made: they will not. Not now. Not without a campaign you have not yet started. Here is the truth. Based on deep knowledge of the system and the historical record of every liberation movement in the modern world, no begging, no court filing, no friendly politician, and no lobbying campaign will gain you anything at all if there is not a global awakening behind it. Without that awakening, every dollar spent on advocacy and every hour spent on social media tagging members of Congress is wasted. This is not defeatism. This is realism. The work matters, but it only matters when the foundation underneath it exists. The system, as it actually works. Probably 990 of 1,000 Americans cannot find Nigeria on a map. Probably 999 of 1,000 have never heard the word Biafra. The states for sitting members of Congress are not much better. Most of them know Nigeria as that big country in Africa with the oil, nothing more. They know nothing of the Sokoto Caliphate. They have never heard the names of the slaughtered villages. They cannot tell you what an IDP camp looks like or where one is. And you are facing not just ignorance, you are facing 60 years of active propaganda against you. From the federal whitewash of the Biafran genocide to the British arms shipments to Lagos, to the modern $9 million DCI campaign telling American op-ed readers there is no genocide, the field has been salted for decades. The default information any American official receives about Nigeria has been written by people paid to deny what is happening. Even if you manage to find one or two sympathetic officials, and you do find a few real ones, Riley Moore and Chris Smith, chief among them, you still face the legislative process. Filed resolutions need committee hearings. Hearings need votes. Votes need floor time. Floor time needs leadership permission. Leadership permission needs political capital. And political capital is exactly what no member of Congress wants to spend on a country their voters cannot find on a map. The recent resolution filed in the United States House of Representatives calling for Nnamdi Kanu's release is a start. It is not nothing. But as best I can tell you, it is not even co-sponsored yet. It carries zero institutional weight as it currently stands. The diaspora needs to hear this plainly. Posts circulating online declaring, in quote, U.S. Congress demands release of Nnamdi Kanu are a fever dream built on falsehood. One congressman filed a resolution. One. That is a beginning. It is not victory. Anyone telling you otherwise is selling you a feeling, not a fact. Let me pause here. What I have read out so far came from Mike Arnold. Whether you agree with him or not, type in the chat section. If you agree with him, what I have read so far from Mike Arnold, type in the chat section. If you don't agree with him, type in the chat section. We will come back to look into all these things he has said, all these points he has made, to know where the facts are and where non-facts exist. That is the purpose of this series, because a lot of Biafrans, when they came across this article by Mike Arnold, they became discouraged, they became confused. Many of them are angry. We are going to address all of this, but let me continue reading the article. Please, if you have not liked this video, it is important you like it immediately, because a lot of people are going to come across it. If you like it, share it. Let those Biafrans who are confused about this statement from Mike Arnold, let them come and watch and listen and follow us throughout this series, so that their doubt, their confusions will be cleared. I will provide you all the perspective that you need in order to understand what Mike Arnold is saying completely and clearly. This is why it is important for you to watch until the end, and also watch the part 2 and the part 3 and the part 4 that are coming up. Let's continue. How politicians actually move. Steve Bannon, one of the most effective political strategists of the modern era, says the only way to motivate a politician is with a bayonet at their back. They will not expend their hard-earned political capital for your cause unless they are forced to. They must feel that ignoring you cost them more than acting will. How do you build that bayonet? Look at how the global blood diamond trade was finally curtailed. Not by protest letters, not by lobbying campaigns, not by horror stories shared at conferences, not by genocide survivors testifying before sympathetic committees. It was Blood Diamond, one Hollywood film with Leonardo DiCaprio in 2006. The movie made every American consumer in a jewelry store ask the question. The retailers asked the suppliers. The suppliers asked the refiners. The Kimberley process, which had existed quietly since 2003, suddenly had teeth, because every diamond on every counter in every store now had a question hanging over it. No advocacy campaign produced what one film produced. Look at how Rwanda became a moral landmark in global memory. Not in 1994, when 800,000 people were slaughtered. In 2004, when Hotel Rwanda hit theaters. The film made the genocide real to a generation that had been told nothing. I hope you're following. Whether you agree with him or not, type in the chat section. We will come back to look into the things he has said to know whether he's right or wrong, or there are areas he didn't get quite right, but not now. Look at Roots. Look at Schindler's List. Look at 12 Years a Slave. Look at the Killing Fields. Every one of them changed how the world saw the atrocity at the center of the story, and shifted policy in ways no advocacy campaign had managed. The pattern is consistent. Culture moves the people move the politicians move the policy. You cannot skip the first step. He continues. The posture every advocate in this fight must learn. Here is the part I want every Nigerian, every diasporan, every Christian abroad, every freedom-loving person involved in this movement to read twice. He said, you must educate people. You must build relationships. You must tell your stories with patience and skill. And you must stop demonizing people who have no idea what you are talking about. He continued, a congressional staffer who has never heard of Bokos, a journalist who confuses Biafra with Bavaria, a pastor in Texas who thinks Nigerian Christians are mostly Catholic and mostly fine. None of these people are your enemy. They are your audience. They are the field you are planting. They are the people whose understanding will eventually become the bayonet at the back of the politician you need to move. If your first instinct upon meeting one of them is to lash out at their ignorance, to complain that the West has abandoned you, to demand they immediately understand what you have lived with for 2 centuries, you have already lost them. They will close the door. They will move on. They will never come back. Do you agree with Mike Arnold or not? Type in the chat section. I am still God's servant, Maxwell Nnawuihe. We must continue. We will come back to revisit all this and look into them with the scripture. We will look into them with the history. We will look into them with a lot of things, and we will know which way forward. He continues. The journey from darkness to light is long. It is your responsibility, not theirs, to walk them down that path step by step, patiently, without bitterness, without superiority, without the assumption that what is obvious to you should be obvious to a person who has never been to Africa, never opened a Nigerian newspaper, never met a Berom widow, and never seen what 19,000 bond churches looks like. There are no shortcuts. The educator wins. The complainer loses. The beggar loses. The lasher out loses. Mike Arnold continues. Educate. Do not lash out. Do not complain. Do not beg. Educate. That is the work. That falls on every single person in this movement, every Nigerian, every diasporan, every Christian abroad, every donor, every pastor, including Pastor Maxwell Nnawuihe, every survivor, every journalist, every activist, every one of us has to back up, reflect on our posture, and ask whether we are educating or whether we are venting. Whether we are building the audience the politicians will eventually have to obey, or whether we are screaming at strangers and calling it advocacy. I hope you're listening. What this means for Nigerian movement until the world can find Nigeria on a map, knows what the word Biafra means, has been educated on the Sokoto Caliphate, and understands what is being done now to the Christians of the Middle Belt, you will get nowhere through politics alone. Before we continue, try and locate one of the epic lectures I delivered on Maxwell Nnawuihe YouTube channel. It's on this channel. Sokoto Secret Rulers meets Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto prison. That is the title of that epic lecture. You cannot afford to miss it. It was after I gave that lecture on Sokoto. I went very deep, very, very deep. It was after that lecture was delivered on this platform, this very channel, Maxwell Nnawuihe, that the discussion about Sokoto Caliphate, and also Mike Arnold wrote about Sokoto Caliphate and was suggesting that it should be designated a terrorist organization. It was after I gave the epic lecture. Why I'm saying this is because he mentioned educate. He is suggesting that we educate the people. We educate the people. I have been doing that. It was also after that lecture. That lecture came before the ISIS target was bombed in Sokoto. That lecture was delivered shortly after Nnamdi Kanu was transferred to the Sokoto prison. That lecture was delivered. The spiritual symbolism and the significance of Sokoto, how Sokoto was established, and what Osman Danfodio did, and all that. And Sokoto being the spiritual gateway, or the spiritual gatekeeper of Nigeria, the strong man of Nigeria, Sokoto. Please make sure you watch that very video. It is titled Sokoto Secret Rulers meets Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto prison. That is the title. When you watch it from the beginning to the end, it will blow your mind off. You have to watch it. Very important. Let's continue with what Mike Arnold said. If you have not liked this video, is important, please like and share it immediately. If you are coming across Maxwell Nnawuihe YouTube channel for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. You will not regret it. Mike Arnold continued, that awareness is the foundation. The advocacy is the building you put on top of it. Build the foundation first. What is the foundation he's talking about? Educate. If you agree with him or not, type in the chat section. A documentary that reaches American living rooms. A book that gets into the hands of every member of Congress, every staffer, every think tank fellow, every table news or every cable news producer. A song that gets played, a social media volume that cannot be ignored. Survivors on every podcast that will have them. Their stories printed on every page that will run with them. Every Nigerian abroad becoming an educator. Every encounter becoming a teaching moment. Every dinner table becoming a small classroom. That is the work. That is the foundation. Once it exists, every lobbying meeting that has gone nowhere for a decade will suddenly produce results, because the politicians will finally have a bayonet at their back. This is how every successful movement in the modern era has built. Civil rights, apartheid, divestment, Soviet Jewry, Tibet, Darfur, blood diamonds, the conflict minerals provision of Dodd-Frank. All of them, without exception, started with cultural awakening, not with advocacy campaigns. The Nigerian movement does not get to skip this step The caliphate has spent 200 years building the propaganda that buries the truth. Our task is to break it. One conversation, one story, one mind at a time. This is the way. And this is the end of reading what Mike Arnold has written. This is the end. Do you agree with Mike Arnold? All the issues that he raised, all the things that he pointed at, all the finger he pointed, all the information he brought, all the comparison he has made, all the analysis he has made, do you agree with Mike Arnold? Remember, this is in the context of the release of Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra official recognition. If you agree with him, type it in the chat section. If you don't agree with him, type in the chat section the area you don't agree with him. And we will be coming to you with a part 2. In the part 2, we'll be looking into everything that Mike Arnold has said to know where he is wrong, where he is right, where we can agree with him, where we can fine-tune some steps that have been taken so far in order to make sure that there is a maximum result, that in no distant time, the world powers will begin to talk about Biafra officially, and Nnamdi Kanu will be released from prison, and Biafra cause will not derail. Rather, it will continue to move forward until Biafra is restored. I'm God's servant, Maxwell Nnawuihe. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. I love you.
Subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Maxwell Nnawuihe for more updates. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram for more updates.